I learned so much about the indivisibility of human rights through my time with the Black Sash.
Black Sash to me has always stood for human rights, and the people who've worked in Black Sash have always seen this as much more than a job.
BlackSash has demonstrated that key ingredients for successful advocacy is building partnerships and collaborating with like-minded stakeholders, educating and empowering communities, and sustained advocacy and campaigning.
And it's for the Black Sash, in order to remain true and relevant to South Africa's future, is to keep on holding those in power accountable.
For 70 years, one name has echoed through the corridors of justice in South Africa. A woman-led movement that stood as a moral compass through the darkest days of apartheid, and continues to stand for dignity, justice, and solidarity.
When it formed the community advice offices in the 70s and 80s, not only to be a legal advice center for community activists who fought against the structures of apartheid, but also to be a community organizing establishment for where lots of resistance organizing happened, was planned, rooted within communities, which is well linked to what MOT does as well.
In 1958, the first Black Sash advice office opened in Athlone. Here, people got legal advice, bail money, support, a voice.
So the most enduring legacy for me is the advice office work that the Black Sash did and the paralegal work that it still does, particularly the training. Its evolution was built on such firm principles that it stayed constant but current with the issues of the day.
Over time, more offices opened, offering help with housing, unemployment, and the brutal machinery of apartheid.
So Black Sash played a big role in fighting forced removals, and this is because the Black Sash advice officers were being approached in the 1980s by communities saying, we've been challenged by these men coming to our farms in vehicles that have a GG number plate on them. So they refer to these men as the men from the GG, which stands for Government Garage. And they are telling us that we have to move. And when we tell them this is our land, we have title deed to it, they say, you are a black spot. We briefed embassies. We went to the American embassy, the British embassy, with detailed statements that were taken from the community to show that this myth of voluntary removals was a myth.
As detention laws worsened, the Sash spoke out. They published, protested, told the world what was happening. They read the names of those who died in police custody so no one would forget.
The first one was the Black Sash was working on communities, to mobilize communities on the ground, women, everyone within the community. Black Sash was in touch with them in order to ensure that the voice of uplifting or releasing the prisoners, the political prisoners from prison, is heard and it's done. And also it was making sure that the use of advice offices in locales that they have established are working effectively and are effective towards assisting the communities to fight and to ensure that their rights and justice services are served. The Black Sash facilitated for me to get an attorney that will come and represent me, because there were no charges against me, but I was kept in detention. That's the role Black Sash played in my release after I've been detained for the charges that I even don't know myself. to continue with my activism and to make sure that what I stood for do happen, as I am today, still today, active on being a human rights and advocating for access to justice for all.
The foundation of advice offices is thanks to BlackSash, because those years they were training us. Even if there are laws, even there's a crisis, they will bring us together in PE and train us. And the laws then, they will come up with state of emergency, they will come up with law, with crisis. Wherever we have a crisis, the advice offices depend on BlackSash.
So the fact that there are these case studies of people saying, we have a right to land, this is our land and we shall not be moved, really is an inspirational factor for people who are landless today.
As apartheid crumbled, the Sash shifted focus, helping prepare voters for 1994.
Our approach has definitely evolved over the years. We started off as a membership-based organisation, and obviously when we had a new constitution and legal framework of rights in place, the members then felt that they'd set out what it was that they wanted to achieve. And it was time to close the membership component of the organisation. But they also recognised that poverty and inequality would continue to remain a barrier to accessing rights. And so there needed to be a shift towards a new professional organisation, a new BlackSash to take the next chapter of the work forward.
BlackSash in South Africa has always been a voice of justice. And today that voice is still needed, maybe more than ever, in fact, I might argue. Our role is to stand with communities who are being let down by the system, especially when it comes to basic rights like income support and access to services.
The Hands of Our Grants campaign was a central example of where the BlackSash, working with others, held the state accountable for its failures to provide social security rights to everyone where it matters, and also to protect those on social security rights from the predatory practices of corporate South Africa.
They exposed illegal deductions from grant recipients.
It was community advice officers from across the country who picked up that mostly elderly women are standing at ATMs in the middle of the night, close to midnight, trying to draw their money, for the social security money, immediately out of their bank accounts before any form of debit orders goes off against it. The BlackSash convened many advice officers and realized that this is not just the practice in one small part of the country, but that it was a massive practice throughout the country. This is, together with doing some research, they found that eventually found that the companies that the state employed to deliver these grants has actually sold the data of grant recipient holders to micro-lenders across the country, causing people to go into loan agreements with massive interest rates. And that's when we started seeing that there's predatory practices that took place here. So the BlackSash, working with others, launched the Hands of Our Grants campaign, and that campaign was critical in holding the government accountable, holding the Minister of Social Development accountable, holding Net1, Sure1 accountable for its breaches of the privacy rights of grant recipient holders. That in itself has caused a massive debt relief for thousands, if not millions of people in South Africa living in poverty. And that in itself is quite remarkable.
The Hands Off Our Grants campaign led to a constitutional court victory. SASSA's corrupt service provider was removed and the post office took over.
BlackSash's advocacy happens at both a national, regional and local level. And it's natural that people might be more aware of some of the national campaigns the BlackSash's had, but we've also had great success at a local level, such as one story that sticks out in my mind is last year our community-based partner, Care Allisdale, found out through their monitoring that the office that SASSA and other government departments were using to provide services from was going to close down. And so we came together in partnership to form an advocacy strategy around that and held a stakeholder meeting. We brought in the local community leaders, SASSA, the Department of Social Development, Department of Health, Home Affairs. We came together around the table to look at how we could ensure that services continued in the Allisdale community. Through that dialogue, we were able to come up with a plan to keep the services going.
BlackSash has demonstrated that the following are key ingredients for successful advocacy. One is building partnerships and collaborating with like-minded stakeholders. The second one is educating and empowering communities. And the third one would be sustained advocacy and campaigning to ensure that there is reform and change.
Talking about the impact of BlackSash, I don't think I would be here today, without the work that BlackSash has done over the last 70 years. So I am like living proof of that impact for sure. I think that it's like impacted, the country as a whole in terms of like where we are, our freedoms, the things we are capable of doing. And so in terms of like movements, we are now able to openly participate in nation building movements as young people today, whereas in the past, those were things that were done in secret, those were things that were done very differently from today's landscape as well. And the legacy of BlackSash as well has changed the way in which we do things and the things we target. BlackSash's previous work has heavily influenced protesting, the way in which we do petitions, community work, etc. So I think I'm one living proof of the work that BlackSash has done, but also the proof is in the pudding. The existence of movements today in South Africa only is because of the work BlackSash has done in the past.
We are quite aware that if we're not speaking to younger people, we're not speaking to the future at all. And in time, we're going to die out, essentially. The difficulty about an organization that's 70 years old is that you have to constantly be transitioning, renewing, adapting your strategy to remain relevant. And so we're creating more opportunities for young people to be involved in the work. Whereas before, for example, in pre-apartheid South Africa, there were, you could do many things that were quite clear that you could participate in fighting. Now, as organizations, not just BlackSash, but overall, we need to ensure that young people are given the opportunities, one, whether it's through internship, whether it's through rights education, to participate, because the issues we're dealing here with are issues that affect them. So we just are going to make sure that we're speaking in a way that resonates with young people, because this struggle is for them to take forward. And so our vision is for a society where you don't have to beg for basic rights. Essentially, our vision is to make sure that people like us as BlackSash are out of business, because that would mean we have a capable state that doesn't need us to hold the space. And so that's what I hope for BlackSash going forward.
As long as there's poverty, injustice, and severe inequality in the world, nobody can rest. That's what BlackSash is doing. And looking at that and looking at Social Protection Act, Social Protection Floor, whereby the smooth running of services to the people, and that's also linked with human rights. That's the future. because we are looking for a accountable, transparency, and moral state. I think the BlackSash have that tool through social protection flow.
Shortly after Madiba's release, he said that BlackSash had been the conscience of white South Africa. And I think for me what sticks out in my mind is the word conscience. And what I would want to say to the next generation of activists is, in your own sphere of influence and in your own advocacy, be that conscience. Continue to believe in a more just and a more equal South Africa. Because another of Madiba's quotes was, it's in your hands to make South Africa and the world a better place for all that live in it. And I believe that it is in our hands.
And so when we talk about looking forward for the next 70 years, what is different now is that we need everybody to come to the table. You don't need to be working for a BlackSash to make meaningful change, or an organization like it. Where you are in your space, it is now more important than ever that we support organizations like SASH. And I'm not talking just about money. With what's happening politically in the geopolitical landscape, it is important that each and every single one of us, whether it's liking and following social media of organizations you support, whether it's writing letters of support to your government or your councillors about issues that matter, whether it's giving your time to do, whether it's an internship or a weekend's work, it's important that all of us get involved, because change requires all of us to participate, and it becomes all of our responsibility and not just a select fews.
So BlackSash essentially is here to make sure that government remembers its responsibility to its people and ensures that the promises made to us in the Constitution are given fruit and are brought to life.
I want to wish the team and all the workers at the BlackSash a happy 70th anniversary. The work you've been doing over the past few years has been incredible and invaluable to the South African society and to just South Africa. So well done.
I wish you strength. I encourage in the work that you will still need to do in South Africa in order to make human rights real, in order to make the Constitution being a living document amongst the poor people in our country. We wish you all of the best, and we look forward to more collaboration with you in the work and to deepening democracy.
Happy 70 years anniversary to BlackSash from People's Legal Center. We hope you guys continue doing the justice and work for South Africans, and you inspire organizations, young organizations like ours, People's Legal Center, to continue with the work and increase access to justice to South African communities.
Hey BlackSash, happy 70th birthday. An organization that distinguished itself in the fight against apartheid, but continues to do amazing work as we undo the legacy and the devastation left by apartheid. As COSATU, we're happy to partner with you. We hope we can continue to build a country that responds to everyone's needs and realizes the ambitions of the Freedom Charter.
I think I can safely say on behalf of all past members of the BlackSash, when it was a membership organization, that we look with great pride at the new transformed BlackSash, focusing still on accessing human rights for all people in our society.
The BlackSash may have been a symbol of mourning, but it became a banner of hope. For 70 years, the BlackSash has stood as a moral compass in South Africa, defending justice, upholding rights, and holding power to account. 70 years on, their mission remains the same: a South Africa where everyone can live with dignity.